Hi, welcome to week 3. So we're going to jump right in. Sorry, that's my dog's tail. Whenever I talk, he gets excited and wags his tail. So today, I'm sorry, I'm going to try to move him a little bit. There, he's a doodle. Okay, so week 3, visual design and student needs. So we're going to talk about layouts, design platforms, fonts and graphics, adding your own graphics to Canva. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I don't have like something that can record my whole screen to show you between the different platforms, is I am going to record, this is via Canva, like stop and splice in screen recording. So you probably won't see my face for some of it. So just, again, bear with me. I am not a YouTuber. I'm trying my best here. And here we go. So you want to think about when you are doing visual design and students' needs, what type of resource do you want? Do you want it digital or printable? I would say for digital resources, you want to stick with Google. That's easy. It's already online. You can edit it anywhere. And you can make movable pieces in it for your students. If you want to do something that you're going to print, like you're going to make on the computer, you're going to print from your printer and then put it under the photocopy machine, I would suggest PowerPoint or Canva. And for the purpose of this class, I would strongly suggest you all use Canva. I think it's easier to use than PowerPoint. And I love that you can access it from home or at school just by signing into your Canva account. You can even get the Canva app. And it would really, it's just, you can't really do it as well on your phone, but at least you have it there. So consider the layout. Are you going to do something that is landscape or portrait oriented for the paper, and what size? So I always think about that first. So like this is a spring file folder word wall, and I did it landscape sized because I wanted to go across and fit the file folder so the kids would have access and be able to view. Sorry, you can't see my words. And if I was going to do something like I want them to write on, I would do it portrait size. I'm going to be up like this. And it also saves room on a desk when you do things portrait size or portrait orientation, sorry. Now consider your font choice. Neurodivergent and primary students do best with clean and simple fonts. They're called, I believe, sans serif, and it just means fonts without like the little accents or like the little tail thing. So like, the end with the little curve at the end, or the A that's fancy. And script, of course, not script. Consider the graphics. Color graphics are great for digital resources, while black lines should be used for reproducible resources. So if you're going to put a color graphic on a page you're going to copy, it's going to copy in gray line. It just looks kind of dull. And if it's black line, it has the nice white spaces with the clear black lines. The kids can color them if they get done early. It just is much better for something that you're going to reproduce. And who are you sharing this resource with? Is it for personal classroom use or public sharing? Clip art artists and font designers have restrictions for using their work for commercial use. So, as you know, I'm a TPT author and seller. I always just buy commercial use clip art and fonts because I don't want to mistakenly use one that's not for commercial use. I don't Google image and put things in my products. I can't do that. For your own classroom, I wouldn't suggest, like, you're not really supposed to Google image stuff, but if you can, who's going to report you? But Canva has so many free graphics and fonts that it's so easy that you can use for personal classroom use. They have them all there. You won't have to buy anything. If you do want to somehow share whatever you're working, like maybe you do want to put on TPT or something, really be strict about buying the commercial use clip art and fonts, and then you have to give them credit in your credits pages. So let's look. Canva already has so many great fonts in it. You don't even have to add them. And this one, I'm going to say, if you didn't watch that Canva tutorial video, now's your chance. Go watch it. I will show you in that video how to add the fonts to Canva. And it's pretty simple if you want to add your own fonts, but I don't think we can do it on your school account. I think it only can be done with a pro account. But I do show you in there if you want. But there's so many fonts that you could use in there already. So look at the right. We have KG Primary Penmanship. Poppins is a good font. We got some tracing fonts in there. Block fonts. I like to use block fonts as my headers. Like up here, you can see. You can search like scary fonts and they'll come up with like like blood looking, you know what I mean? Like drippy looking fonts. You can search bubble fonts and they will come up with like some bubble theme fonts. It is really super easy to use. And again, I would suggest watching my video for that on Canva if you haven't done it already. And in your handout, if you click this, I have like the links with all the fonts in it. So now if you're on TPT, let's say you want to use your own fonts in Canva or you want to use your own fonts in PowerPoint, you can grab them from TPT and download them to your computer. Now, a lot of them I have, actually all of them I have commercial use licenses for, but KG has it where you can download no matter what, it's free. And then if you want to use them commercially, then you pay for an additional license, which whatever it is. I paid many years ago like $300 and it's like a lifetime license. Here's some other fonts I really like. This is called Market Fresh, and I think it's BMD, Market Fresh. DJB, number 2 pencil, so a nice primary font, just like KG primary penmanship. This one you can find free in like DaFont. I've linked it there in the handout. Bunny on a Cloud has a happy writing font, like all different fonts, and they're really cute. If you want like something stylized, I would say like Babbling Abbey. Like look at this Babbling Abbey and Hope. It has hearts for the O's. Babbling Miss Browning has apples for the O's here, and they're just like cute fonts. And those I would use more as like a header or something decorative. I wouldn't use that for directions for students or a student like quiz or anything like that. Show you how to get the fonts from TPT. So you should have downloaded your handout. If you want to just work with me, find this page and you can click on the font that you want to download or just search a font. I'm going to download this one. I'm going to show you how to install it onto my computer. So it's downloaded. I'm going to go to my downloads folder and I see it over here. I'm going to double click to unzip it, double click it again, and then I have it right here, and I'm going to double click it again, and that will ask me to install it. Click install, and now the font is installed onto my computer, and I could use it for Word or PowerPoint. The only thing with that is it's not going to pop up right away. So if I go to my PowerPoint now, I have like so many windows open. Let's see if it works. So this is remember I told you my letter writing unit. I'm showing you guys as my sample that I'm working on. I'm updating myself. So if I want to change this font, I am not going to have that KG. Let's see. And it's in alphabetical order once it's added. As you can see, I have a ton of fonts. And I can't remember what that one was called. It was like KG something. So let's go to KG. And as you can see, let me just figure out what it was called. It was called KG Neatly Printed. Okay, let's see if I have it. Okay, so, and it's in alphabetical order, so it does help you a bit. As you can see, KG makes a lot of fonts. So no, it's not in here yet. So what I would need to do to get it in there would be to restart my computer, and then it would be in there, which I'm not going to bore you with restarting my computer and filming that. But, you can change your font to like this, whatever you want to do. I'm going to change it back because I don't really like that font. I like the one I had. But this is PowerPoint right here. So while I have you on PowerPoint, and I have used it for so many years that most of my resources are already in PowerPoint, so I'm not going to just start using Canva if I'm updating an older resource. If I'm trying to make something new, I will use Canva now to create something new. It's much easier. So in PowerPoint, you can layer, which is different than Word. In Word, if I were to do this, it would skew all of the text. But in PowerPoint, you can add text boxes, you can add tables, you can change colors. It really has the same capabilities as Canva. Canva has just more. So like you see how this shape is filled. I could fill this shape with different colors. I could find more fill colors like the same way I can in Canva with the little eyedropper. I could change things to the different colors. You see that just changed that. I'm just going to go back to my back arrow and put it back what it was. And then you have this whole thing. But remember, PowerPoint is made to be a presentation. It's not really made to be a printable. So when I save to a PDF, it's not flattened, it's very graphics heavy. So what I actually do, which we'll probably get into this later on in the course. Look, these don't even look right. It got updated. So what I do when I save it is I save it as images, and then I put the images together as a PDF. So for the purpose of this course, I think for you guys, it would be much easier if you just used Canva to create your resources. So I can show you in Canva, let me get out of this too, how you can add your own fonts if you have the Pro. It might work for some school accounts. I am not 100% positive. So here I'm in Canva. This is something I made last year for Mother's Day. Let's say I don't want this Poppins font. I want a different font. I can upload a font down here. So I don't know if you have that. Check if you have it. So I'm going to upload a font. I'm just going to go to my downloads and find those fonts that I just added and added it, confirm and upload. And it should be in there. And what was it called? And I was like KG, oh, I just lost it. KG neatly printed. And there we go. It changes right over to it. I could also search, let me undo this because that's going to bother me. But I could search fonts. Let me click on the font again. So again, you have to click on like the text box to do it. And I could search like bubble font. And if you look, there's some bubbly fonts are coming up on the side over here. Flower, I don't know if it's going to come up, flower font. So just like, I guess cuter fonts come up, similar. Block font. Some block fonts. Text styles, you can do like a heading style, different things. So this right here was created in Canva. I inserted a box. I added a text box here, text box here, text box here. And then I added a graphic. So whatever platform you're using, you're going to want to have separate text boxes for each group of text. You're not going to want to have this as one group of text because it's just so much easier to manipulate and move around. And what's great about Canva, which you cannot do in PowerPoint, is I can just very quickly resize this to whatever size I want. Whereas in PowerPoint, you have to go over here and fiddle with this. Even here, I could just go like this and it like very quickly goes. It's much harder to do in PowerPoint. So my vote is stick with Canva for whatever you're creating for your own classroom or for this course. For the printables, for the slide up slides or anything digital, I would say go with Google. Okay, let's stop. I'm going to jump into Google Slides fonts. So I do explain this in my Google Slides tutorial that you can't add any fonts to Google Slides, but there are so many fonts available for you. There are some of my favorites to the left. Poppin, Century Gothic. Let me just turn the slide on, sorry, so you can see a little better. Century Gothic, Blubber Ones, Josephine Sands, Diadac Gothic. And what I have done in your handout is I have linked those two Google Fonts guides from my friend. Her name is like Ladybug Teacher Files, Kristen, her name is. So she has a lot of freebies for you. And when you add them to your drive, you don't have to add all the fonts. Just all the fonts then are automatically added to your drive. She also has a post on how to find Google Fonts. Like if you're looking for a certain one, you want to see if it's available in Google. She has a tutorial on that too. So I'll leave you that in your handout that you can go look through. And for the Google fonts, again, these would be more for slides. I wouldn't suggest using Google for printables because when you download something as a PDF from Google, it's not as crisp as if you were doing Canva to print. It's more meant to be, Google Slides is meant to be just on a screen. Okay, so some of my favorite graphic designers, again, I teach primary, so I love Bunny on the Cloud. I've linked this all in your handout. I think her graphics are a good value. They're very cute and their black lines are nice and clean. If you want something more whimsical, I would go to Graphs from the Pond. They're cute too, but very sketchy drawn. Digital Artsy. She has a lot of, or he, I don't know, pastel colors, watercolors. So that'll be good for middle school, high school, or backgrounds. Creative Clips is another one with like very clean, simple graphics. Whimsy Workshop has some good graphics. Now, handwriting lines, when I am doing a worksheet with handwriting lines, I don't use the font to do it. I usually just use a graphic of handwriting lines and just stretch it out. It's just much easier. I mean, if you're in secondary, you don't even, or well, actually, if you're in like third grade up, you don't have to worry about the, the dotted lines like I do. You can just type a line on the page and it'll be fine. So in your handout, you can go through. Now on TPT, you can search different clip art artists. You can look by grade. They have clip art for all grade levels, high school, more mature looking clip art. So, I mean, I wouldn't put something like that, like this little tiger on a high school paper. It just would be silly. They'd laugh at you. And I wouldn't put something too adultish looking on, a kid's paper. I like them to have a little bit of space to color when they're done early on something. So I'm going to show you some sample resources. So the letters are from that letter writing resource I've been showing you. And again, I used clip art of the handwriting lines to add there. So you can see I kind of smushed it down a little at my closing and signature. So it's a little, like the dots are a little off. I probably could have just cropped it, but I must have been rushing. And so I just shrunk it down a bit. And then I added little text boxes to add where it says closing, signature, body, date, and greeting. And then I added a graphic of an arrow. And at the top of my page, I have just a shape that's filled in with white. If we look at the farmer one, Dear Farmer Brown, so there's a book called Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type, and it's about these cows that use a typewriter to request electric blankets. So I want the students to pretend to be farm animals and write to Farmer Brown and request something. So I thought it would be cute to use like a typewriter font for the letter. So it looks like, because I can't have them type the whole letter. I want them to write. So it looks like it's typed there. And then I added a little clip art barn that is from graphics from the pond. And then we go to our right and we have like a farm animal graphing. So this has a lot of different elements in it to it. The whole background, you see the black line is a box that I put in the background to make like just a very simple frame. The top, the heading is in a block font. That was a text box. The table for tally marks and numbers is actually a table that I inserted. And then I typed in the boxes and then I added graphics over that. If you look closely, you can see the little chicken guy is sticking outside of the line a little bit, but it was hard to get him in there and not look like just a dot. And then we see another table at the bottom, and that is the bar graph. And to the left of that, those are each individual text boxes for those little numbers. And then we go to the right, those are individual text boxes. Well, all the questions are one text box and the heading is a separate one. And then I have the graphic of the barn added on to it. So it's a lot of different layers of text boxes, but it's better to do it that way because you can much more easily manipulate your page around. And again, if you haven't done already, watch my Canva tutorial video. It'll really help you out with how to create resources and worksheets in Canva. Okay, so let's go to our assignment. What you're going to do is create a 1 to 2 page resource for student use. This should be part of the resource you outline for the last assignment. You must use student-friendly fonts. Elementary teachers should use a primary font, and middle high school teachers should use a sans serif font. So anything that's not script, basically. Include student, or has little tails. Include student-friendly graphics. Know your audience. Look on TPT. There is a lot of free stuff. Canva has so many free things too. Add your PDF when you're done to our Google Share folder. So if you're not sure how to make it a PDF, go to Canva, watch that video, but you can download file PDF and it'll download. And then just format again with your name, your grade level, and what it is. And then participants, please provide positive feedback and suggestions in the Google Classroom about each other's resource in the comments section, or like what was easy for you, what was challenging for you to do, and make sure you add it to the folder. Remember, we're building upon our last assignment. Thank you.